Let's talk about the one question that seems to be on everyone's mind. Is AI coming for my job? You see it in every headline, and honestly, it can be pretty overwhelming. So today we're going to cut through all that noise and get to the real story of how artificial intelligence is changing the way we work. I want to start with a number, 77,999. Now, that's not a winning lottery ticket. That is the number of tech jobs that were cut in just 1 year, with a lot of people pointing the finger directly at AI. It's a huge, stark figure, and it really sets the stage for why so many of us are feeling anxious. So let's unpack what's really driving this fear. So for our first section, we're diving right into that anxiety. Let's look at the hard data behind what we're calling the AI job shockwave. And, the numbers, they're pretty eye-watering. I mean, just look at the scale of this. Goldman Sachs is estimating that 300 times million jobs around the world could be impacted by AI. Then you've got the World Economic Forum getting even more specific, saying 83 million jobs could be straight up eliminated by 2027. And this isn't some far-off future thing. A recent survey found that nearly half, 49%, of companies using ChatGPT say it's already replaced workers. And again, this isn't just a bunch of numbers on a chart. It's happening right now at some of the biggest companies in the world. IBM, for example, has already cut 8,000 jobs in its own HR department, swapping out human roles for AI. Amazon CEO has been very public about shrinking their corporate teams because of new AI efficiencies. So yeah, it's easy to see why this threat feels so real and so immediate. Okay, but this is where the story takes a turn. Because those big, scary shockwave numbers, they're real, but they don't tell the whole story. It's time for a little reality check where we separate the hype from the actual data. Because the full picture is way more complex and, honestly, a lot more interesting. So how real is this AI takeover? Well, here's the dose of reality from MIT economist Daron Acemoglu. He points out that just because AI can do a task, it doesn't mean it makes business sense. He estimates that only about 5% of tasks can actually be profitably done by AI in the next 10 years. That word, profitably, is everything. It's a huge check on the idea that robots are just going to replace everyone overnight. And this gets at something people in the industry called the capability reliability gap. You've seen those mind-blowing AI demos online, right? Well, there's often a massive difference between what looks cool in a demo and what actually works in a real messy business environment. In the real world, AI can be unreliable, super inefficient, and crazy expensive to implement, which really puts the brakes on any kind of rapid mass job replacement. This is all leading to a really important shift in thinking. The conversation is slowly moving away from just artificial intelligence, where the goal is to automate and replace people. Instead, people are talking about augmented intelligence. Here, the goal isn't to replace you, it's to enhance you. The whole focus is on human-AI teamwork to make better decisions. It completely reframes AI from a competitor to a super-powered assistant. So, where does that leave us? With this number, positive 78 million. Remember how the World Economic Forum said 83 million jobs might be lost? Well, in the very same report, they project that by 2030, a net gain of 78 million jobs will be created. This is the other side of the coin. Technology doesn't just destroy, it also creates. So, if we're not heading for mass unemployment, what are we facing? Well, it's something more like a great job reshuffle. This isn't about a lack of jobs, it's about a massive transformation of the jobs we do. So the real questions are, who's most affected? And more importantly, where are all these new opportunities popping up? This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Which jobs are really on the front lines of this change, and which ones are looking pretty safe for now? Let's get into the specifics. When you lay it out like this, you start to see a really clear pattern. Over on the high-risk side, you have jobs like translators, writers, data entry clerks. The common thread? They're all based on routine, predictable, data, and language tasks. Now, look at the other side. Home health aides, construction workers, plumbers, artists. These jobs require your hands, physical dexterity, emotional intelligence, and creative problem solving in unpredictable environments. Basically, all the stuff AI is still terrible at. Now, here's a really interesting and subtle point. The data shows the biggest immediate impact of AI isn't mass layoffs. It's what experts are calling hiring headwinds. Companies are just hiring fewer people for entry-level, white-collar jobs because AI can now do a lot of the basic tasks that used to go to recent grads. And that's a huge deal for young people trying to get their career started. But of course, with all this change comes incredible opportunity. We're seeing brand new career paths being invented out of thin air. Roles like prompt engineer, someone who's an expert at telling an AI exactly what to do, or AI ethics specialist, whose job is to make sure we're using these powerful tools responsibly. These jobs literally didn't exist just a few years ago. Okay, so this brings us to the most important part of our whole discussion. Let's make this personal. This is your AI-proof career roadmap. Real, actionable steps you can take to not just survive, but actually thrive in this new world. So, what's the ultimate game plan? It's pretty simple, actually. Double down on being human. The things AI just can't replicate are your most valuable assets now. We're talking about critical thinking, social and emotional intelligence, creativity, and maybe most important of all, adaptability and a love of learning. These so-called soft skills, they're the new hard currency of the job market. So here's your 4-step strategy. Step 1, you have to become a lifelong learner. The world is changing fast and you've got to change with it. 2, develop cross-functional skills. Take what you're already an expert in and combine it with some tech know-how. 3, and this is crucial, learn to use AI as a tool that makes you better, faster, and smarter at your job. And finally, lean into those uniquely human roles that need empathy and leadership. See the pattern? It's not about fighting technology. It's about partnering with it. And here's some really good news. You're not in this alone. Your company is probably thinking about this too. A huge 77% of employers are already making plans to upskill their own workers to get them ready for this transition. That means opportunities to learn and grow will be there for anyone who's willing to raise their hand. So, we'll end on this thought. This whole humans versus the machines narrative is just not the right way to look at it. The real story here is about adaptation and collaboration. So the question isn't whether AI will change your job, because let's be honest, it will. The real question is, how will you use it to redefine your future?